Hello everyone. The first look, we can say that more or less, IFT has tried to replicate IFT in itself, and won't be wrong if I say that the last, 4 to 5 editions of the same paper have had a near similar flavor. If you look at this year's GK, GK was 25 questions, weightage of zero point 0.5 marks per question with 0.17 negative mark per question. If I analyze the paper, I can say that out of the 25 questions that were there in the GK section, 14 questions were static. The remaining 11 can be called current affairs. There was a wonderful spread of questions. There was spread across trade based questions, world organizations, business news, sports, government initiatives, currency based questions, movies also, even Bollywood was there. More or less, the format of GK, the kind of match the followings that were given was all very typically IFT. If they try to allot 10 minutes to this particular section, they'll be able to attempt around 15 to 16 questions, out of which, given the weightage of 0.5 marks per question, 6 can be considered a very good score for this particular section. From there, I move to Quant, which is 20 questions, 1 markers, with a negative marking of 0.33 per question. Now, if I look at Quant, there were close to 10 to 11 questions, typical application aptitude questions. So, questions spread across, time and work based questions, or surds and indices based questions, or numbers based calculation questions, or progression based questions. All in all, if you allocate somewhere close to 27 to 28 minutes to this section, 16 odd questions out of 20 could have been attempted, and a good score in this section can be called around 13 marks. The next I jump into the section of AR and DI, which is reasoning and DI. Reasoning this time was 0.75 marks per question. There were 22 questions in it. I think the last set, which was about that time duration, 9 o'clock to 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock to something as a family was given, that was a little time consuming. We can say that if we allot around 25 minutes to this particular section, approximately 18 questions, that means leaving aside one set, everything else was solvable, and a good score in this section, considering the fact that it is 0.75 marks per question, can be considered to be 10 marks. As far as DI is concerned, DI was 20 questions, all of it with a 1 mark weightage. Yes, it was all about addition, subtraction, and ratios and percentages, but just that there were at least 7 to 8 questions, that is a total of 2 questions per set, which had little tougher calculations. So all in all, 11 attempts, 8 tentative good score in a 26 minutes is absolutely manageable. The next I moved to the section of verbal, which had 2 subsections in it. One was RC and the other one was verbal ability. If I talk about RCs, leaving aside one RC, everything else was absolutely possible. So a 12 to 13 attempts was possible. The questions were reasonably direct, and hence accuracy will be high. Even the RCs were not dense content. As far as verbal ability is concerned, it was a little tricky. Undoubtedly, not a single question on application of logic. I wouldn't say that the 2 questions of parajumbles which were there were even close to the difficulty level which is being observed by CAT. No critical reasoning based questions, no grammar based questions. So yes, it was heavily biased towards vocabulary, but all in all, say around 10 to 12 minutes for verbal ability section, around 20 minutes for the RC section, would have respectively given us around 14 attempts in verbal ability and around 12 to 13 attempts in RC. And good score in these sections, we can call it as 6 for verbal ability and 10 for RCs. All in all, if I add up all the good scores, say GK 6, quantitative aptitude around 13, AR 10, DI 8, RC 10, and verbal ability 6, this adds up to a 53. However, it's not about the good scores to reach the cutoff. Very frankly, each one of the kids would have felt the pressure in either the DI section about AR, wherein probably would have gotten into a wrong set. Something is possible. Hence, we feel that the cutoff for IIFT Delhi would be approximately a score of 48.2 undoubtedly IFT is known for sectional minimums. GK with a 2.25 should suffice, 3.5 for AR, 4 marks each for DI and RC, 3 for verbal ability, and 4.5 for quant. So effectively the sectional minimums will add up to hardly a half of the total score. Hence, this is where we'd like to take our shot as a cutoff of around 48.2 for getting a call from IFT. That's it from us. Best wishes and thank you.